Hello, nerds. Today we are going to talk about the impeachment trial. We're going to do a react video. I'll react to the opening arguments from the Democrats, and then we'll have the defense response. And then if we have time, I don't know, I'm going to try and get to the Smartmatic legal complaint, the $3 billion lawsuit against Fox News and MAGA news channels, Newsmax and OAN. But before we do that, let's warm it up with Andrew.
There's no place to hide now that he's arrived. I'm saying he ain't playing now with this campaign. Bang, dang, it's and Drew come roll with the Yang Gang. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up. Yo, there's no place to hide now that he's arrived. I'm saying he ain't playing now with this campaign. Bang, dang, it's and.
Hello, nerds. Oh my God, wrong. Wrong overlay. All right, now we're back. Welcome back. We're going to get this into this quick because I got to go grab some dinner with Mrs. Nerd and the family. But I did want to have a quick little live stream and say hello to everybody. Let me make sure everything is working A-OK before we do our... Oh, that's why. Well, hold on. This live stream is unlisted. We gonna make it public right now. All right, hold on. Sorry for the delay, folks. Oh God, there's a whole bunch of things I didn't do here. Stand by. Public. Okay, done. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. Save. All right. Now we should start seeing some folks trickle in. While we wait for that to happen, though, we got to get on with the show. So first thing we're going to do is react to the opening statements from the Democratic side of the House and see what kind of case they made that the former President Trump ought to be impeached. So let's go to sharing. There it is. It worked. All right. So here is the video montage that the Democratic side made. And let's see if we can be convinced that Donald Trump incited an insurrection, which sounds like a pretty big deal if you ask me. So hopefully they can make the case and see what they say.
We will stop the steal. Today I will lay out just some of the evidence proving that we won this election, and we won it by a landslide. This was not a close election. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Oh boy. Walk down to the Capitol.
We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. Everybody in! This way! This way!
Tens of thousands of votes. They came in duffel bags. Where the hell did they come from?
Oh, they came in duffel bags. Where the hell did they come from? You know, if I heard that, I might be tempted to get a little fired up as well. Okay. Whoa, that's a Law and Order policeman being pushed over. All right, so we need to just pause for a moment here and acknowledge the strange irony of the MAGA world being all about law and order, right? And how important it was to respect the law and respect the Constitution. And here we are with the Congress trying to ratify votes that were collected by the states, the all-important states' rights, and we've got people kicking over barriers and screaming USA as they violently enter the Capitol building.
Madam Speaker, the Vice President and the United States Senate.
I mean, so this is where you got to remember, this is a very sacred event that was happening just now, right? A sacred event. You've got the entire legislative branch. You have the Vice President of the United States coming in. And meanwhile, you've got the President of the United States ordering a crowd of people to march on the Capitol, telling them that it was stolen, that there were duffel bags of votes snuck in the middle of the night. What do you think they're going to do?
Off the sidewalk.
Stand up for him. Stand up for him. We outnumber you a million to one out here, dude.
Take the building! Take the building! Fuck these pigs. Join us!
Okay, F these pigs, take the building, let us in. This is presumably the so-called party of law and order and respect for the Constitution, respect for, what was it, Blue Lives Matter.
The Constitution says you have to protect our country and you have to protect our Constitution. And you can't vote on fraud. And fraud breaks up everything, doesn't it? When you catch somebody in a fraud, you're allowed to go by very different rules.
What does that even mean? When you catch someone committing fraud, you're allowed to go by very different rules. Like, what the hell does that mean? That's kind of disturbing, but let's see what happens next.
So I hope Mike has the courage to do what he has to do.
Talk about you standing down!
Oh, Jesus.
And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
F the police. If you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Okay? This is what the President of the United States is saying to his supporters as they march upon the U.S. Capitol.
So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol. And we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help, we're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country.
Get the fuck out of here, you traitors!
Get the F out of here, you traitors. They're saying that to the police that are trying to protect the Capitol building.
Majority Leader. We're debating a step that has never been taken in American history. President Trump claims the election was stolen. The assertions range from specific local allegations to constitutional arguments to sweeping conspiracy theories. But my colleagues, nothing before us proves illegality anywhere near the massive scale that would have tipped the entire election.
All right, so we should acknowledge what we're seeing here. We're seeing the Senate, at that time, the Senate Majority Leader, lifelong Republican, elected by the Republican senators, and he's saying, hey, there's no evidence of fraud at sufficient scale to change the outcome of this election. This is not Nancy Pelosi. This is the Senate Majority Leader, born Republican, Mitch McConnell, elected by Republican senators, who themselves were elected by Republican voters. And they're saying there's no stolen election here. And he's saying that literally as swarms of radical MAGA are about to break into the building. What is that? Is that a noose?
Fuck you, police!
F you, police. Okay, that's just heartbreaking. We gotta see that again. That's just heartbreaking. There's a man that is taking an American flag and he's smashing it into the door of the American Capitol building. Is that just not one of the saddest things you've ever seen?
Fuck you, police!
There it is. Oh! Ah! You know, I don't know if you guys remember, but if you were in the Boy Scouts, you were told you should never let the flag touch the ground. You were told exactly how to fold a flag and to respect that flag. And this man is smashing that flag into the Capitol building. It's just, can I use the word deplorable? Is that appropriate to describe that man? I think so. People died for that flag. And you're smashing it in to the building that houses your representatives who are ratifying your election, because you were convinced by your president and a lot of the MAGA news that this thing was somehow stolen when there was no evidence, and you won 0 cases. And now today, in your great impeachment trial, you have every opportunity to show where is all this mountains of evidence? Where are all this reports of duffel bags? Let's have it under cross-examination. And the best defense you can give is that, oh, like a technicality, he's no longer president. You can't impeach him. This reminds me of like when you used to watch the news about crazy political protests, like storming government buildings. Like, this is the stuff that we in America used to look at and be like, man, those countries are really messed up. And here it is, our own country, Washington, D.C., the U.S. Capitol building, when the freaking legislative branch is trying to ratify a smooth transition of power, The losing candidates' crazy radical supporters are smashing into the building.
Second floor!
Dude, you know that policeman is probably scared poopless. He is literally thinking to himself, I am in the U.S. Capitol, and these mofos have broken in. Is that guy wearing a Q t-shirt? Jesus. The neckbeard guy is wearing a Q t-shirt and running after him.
My challenge today is not about the good people of Arizona.
And it will stand in recess until the call of the chair.
We'll pause.
Protesters are in the building.
Thank you.
Protesters are in the building. Remember when they used to say, oh, you know, Republicans never resort to violence. It's always those radical Democrats. Just freaking hypocrisy.
Mr. Speaker, can I have order in the chamber?
The House will be in order. The House will be in order. Okay.
There was another guy taking a flag and smashing it into doors. F the blue. F the blue. They're literally climbing the walls like wildlings. We are listening to Trump. We are here because of Trump. We were told to come here by our president. Traitor Pence. You know, Mike Pence is many things. He ain't no Democrat. That is for darn sure. And they're calling him a traitor. Mike Pence is the definition of a Republican. He is everything the Republicans say that they are. He's pro-life, pro-gun, pro-religion, goes to church all the time, has only one wife. He should be the dream of the Republicans. And yet now they're calling him a traitor.
Defend your liberty! Defend your Constitution!
Defend your Constitution is ironic. It's just ironic to scream defend the Constitution when you're literally trying to disrupt the constitutional process by force. You don't defend the Constitution by attacking your elected legislative branch when they're conducting constitutional business. They're screaming, "Stop the steal." I wonder who has been promoting that theory.
Stop the steal! Stop the steal! Stop the steal!
By the way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right, now this is the House of Representatives, and they are scared crapless because a bunch of raving lunatics from the radical MAGA are breaking into the building, and they've breached the outer walls. They've literally climbed through the windows and have taken American flags and desecrated them, frankly, in the U.S. Capitol building. And here are our elected representatives now being shuffled out for their own safety.
They're leaving. They're leaving. They're leaving.
Break it down, break it down, break it down. Oh my God. Ooh. That woman was killed, shot, I think, in the chest. And I gotta say, you gotta ask yourself, if Donald Trump had conceded like a normal person after all of the votes were certified, would that woman be alive today? You think about that.
Where the fuck are they?
There's gotta be something in here we can fucking use against these scumbags.
All right, now this guy has got his phone out, going through the notes and binders of their elected representatives, thinking, well, I'm going to find some smoking gun. I mean, that is basically, he has been convinced that there's these vast conspiracies, and he's thinking if he takes out his camera and finds somebody's random speech, he's going to discover the map to Pizzagate.
That's what we fucking need to have 30,000 guns up here.
Okay, so someone says that's what we need to have 30,000 guns in here. That would not be.
That's what we fucking need to have 30,000 guns up here.
No. Next trip, they say. Next. And then, of course, because desecrating the American flag isn't bad enough, they brought another flag with them, too. This little bad boy up here. The stars and bars brought to the U.S. Capitol. That right there is a rebel flag. No peace, no Trump, no peace. No Trump, no peace.
Let's go!
We need fresh patriots to the front. This is how delusional they were. They really thought that they were defending the integrity of their government, that there was this massive theft. Who led them to believe that? And if President Trump had conceded like a normal person after the states had certified the results, after all of the lawsuits had gone through, would they have a man yelling, "We need fresh patriots to the front"? All right, that man is trying to pull off the gas mask of one of the policemen. Remember, this is the party of law and order, of, what was it? Blue Lives Matter? And here we are trying to, yelling at the policemen, calling them traitors, but then trying to drag off their gas masks while the pepper spray is being distributed. Now, this man is a policeman that it looks like he is being crushed by the radical MAGA crowd that was whipped up by the President of the United States. This is making America great again, apparently. Fight for Trump, fight for Trump. These do not seem like, I know there's a theory out there that all of these people are somehow Antifa that dressed up as MAGA supporters. They're doing a really convincing job, if that's true.
There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home.
Well, now you want peace, after you told them to fight like hell and storm the Capitol.
We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel, but go home and go home in peace.
No, it doesn't work that way. You don't spend 2 months convincing half the country that their votes were stolen, that the election was a complete fraud, that they should storm the Capitol, and then say, you know what, just go home in peace. You can't unfire the gun like that. They are chanting USA as they are literally breaking into the building that houses their representatives, trying to do their jobs, trying to follow the Constitution. Did you see that? There's a guy with a gosh darn hockey, looks like a hockey stick, beating a policeman. See that? Is that a or is that, yeah, it looks like a hockey stick. Golly. You know, remember, this is the same candidate that said only Democrats resort to violence, that Republicans never do that. This is disgusting. I mean, it's bad when people loot a Target, but this is the freaking U.S. Capitol. This is a sacred place. If you believe in democracy, it's like breaking into a church. Like, come on, man. And what is that flying through the air? Is that a metal pole?
Lies in your own cities, your own counties, storm your own Capitol buildings, and take down every one of these corrupt motherfuckers. Hang up!
All right. So after the building is breached and Vice President Pence and the representatives are whisked away to safety, and after all of this vandalism and all of these deaths, at that time, the President of the United States is sending a message to his followers. What does he say? These are the things and events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from the great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Go home with love and peace. Remember this day forever. 6 p.m., January 6, 2021. This is what he says after they've invaded the Capitol building. A sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away. You know what? I cannot wait to watch the opening statements from your legal team, former President Trump. Because if it was such a sacred landslide election victory and it was so unceremoniously stripped away and there was so much fraud and it was so rigged, surely your defense team will now have an opportunity to bring all of their evidence of this great stolen election. Oh, this guy's a real piece of work. This freaking guy. All right. So let's just take a little breather for a second. A little breather. That was the opening video montage from the Democratic side. But let's see what the Trump defense team has to say in their opening statements, because I'm going to have to guess that they are going to make all kinds of arguments about how this election was stolen, that's why this is justified, because frankly, if it really were stolen, and if Trump really did have a landslide election, then encouraging these people to bust into the Capitol, you could almost say it was justified. So surely the Trump attorneys will talk about, what was it, Dominion, Ruby Tuesday, duffel bags. We're going to have exhibits. We're going to have video evidence. We're going to have expert witnesses, right? All right. Let's see. Let's see what he says here. Let me, well, before I do that, so we're going to go to the Republican side in a second. I do need to give a quick shout out to the people who support this channel and support this content, our members. So thank you to our members. We're going to start with our EVP level, which I believe is empty. So if anyone wants to become an executive vice president of the Nerds for Humanity channel, you should join right now. That spot is available and you will be awesome. All the money does not go to my pocket, just goes to promoting the channel, investing in better content, and helping us grow the audience. Vice president level, we'll sort by total time as member. VLAM, JM Sap, Fat Lamb. Let me, hold on a second, move myself. I'm in the way here. There we go. Woo! All right. JM Sap, Kristen Levin, Soldier One, Laura Lane, Patrick Dunn, Bike, Mindful Skeptics. All right. Thank you to our VPs. And next level is our hardcore. Thank you to Mike Chang, Gene Lim, David, Tracy, DK, Landline, Phoenix, Jekalego, Kirsch, Mr. History, Byram, Susan, Yang, Tony, Robert, Dean, Stat Nerd, Jalessa, Jay Perrin, and J. Brian Anderson. All right. And next level. After the hardcore, we've got the verified nerds. While you're waiting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Helen, Lisa, Sugar, Albert, Brandon, Yes, Brian, Peter, Erez, Your Mommin, Sophia, Jadwiga, Gail, Shake and Make, Mike, Doris, Emerald, Nell, Lori, Ben, Roger, Lisa, Christina, Vaughn, Rastafasta, Richard, Ryan, Jessica, James, Jalopy, and Emma. And in terms of our newest members overall, who are our young birds? Semery, J. Brian Anderson, Ardent, Mai, Alex, Annalisa, Monica, Karen, J. Perrin, Ender the Third, Dr. A, William, Bustos, and Jameson are all under the 1 month mark. And our oldest members in the history of the channel are Mike, the very first, VLAM, JM Sap, Helen, and Lisa. Okay, now let's see what the Republicans said in response to this opening statement. Remember, according to the president, this was a huge stolen election, and there were mountains of evidence proving it. Now, they lost every court case, but often the MAGA people will say, well, we lost it because we never had standing. We weren't even allowed to present our evidence. So now here you go. You've got the biggest trial in the history of the Trump presidency. You've got the entire country watching. Please, surely you must have evidence finally proving this so-called fraud. Let's hear it.
Mr. President and members of the United States Senate, thank you for taking the time to hear from me. My name is Bruce Castor. I am the lead.
Now, remember, President Trump always hires the best people. So this guy is going to be a straight-up modern-day Perry Mason, and he's going to explain how this election was stolen and how you can't incite an insurrection if an election was stolen. Oh, we got a new member? Welcome, Brittany N. Crosby. Thank you for calling that out. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Love it. All right, here we go. Let's go on and hear Mr. Castor.
Lead prosecutor, or lead counsel for the 45th President of the United States. I was an assistant DA for such a long time, I keep saying prosecutor, but I do understand the difference, Mr. Reskin.
What the fuck? What's he doing? Is this? It doesn't seem like he's really prepared.
Before I begin, I want to comment on the outstanding presentation from our opponents and the emotion that certainly welled up in Congressman Raskin about his family being here during that terrible day. And you will not hear any member of the team representing former President Trump say anything but in the strongest possible way denounce.
Oh, Wanna See More is saying, hey, how come I didn't give a gong for our new member, Brittany? Shoot. Oh, I got a cowbell for you, Brittany. Thank you, Brittany. New Nerds member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right.
The violence of the rioters and those that breached the Capitol, the very citadel of our democracy.
The citadel of our democracy, exactly. So this is the point where he's going to say, and that's why the most important thing about a democracy is the integrity of the election and the integrity of the ballots, and therefore, Here are the 10 pieces of evidence that show this was a landslide for my client, President Trump, and why this election was fraudulent, and therefore all of those patriots were acting completely within reason.
Literally the symbol that flashes on television whenever you're trying to explain that we're talking about the United States. Instant symbol.
Oh, we got a super chat from Jennifer Montgomery. I love it. The first lawyer I spoke for Trump's side was a joke. He said that he expected an objection for the Senate during open arguments. Also, Trump should have been charged with negligence. Yeah, maybe.
To have it attacked is repugnant in every sense of the word. The loss of life is horrific.
Yes.
I spent many long years prosecuting homicide cases, catching criminals that committed murders. I have quite an extensive experience in dealing with the aftermath of those things.
Yes.
Certainly, as a FOP member and a member of many police organizations myself, we mourn the loss of the Capitol Police officer, who I understand is laying not too far away from here. And you know, many of you in this room, over your careers before they reached this summit here in the Senate.
What is this guy going to defend the president? Who did Donald Trump hire?
Would have had times where you represented your local communities as assistant district attorneys, assistant Commonwealth attorneys, assistant state attorneys. And you know this to be true, that when a horrific event occurred in your county or in your
this guy
responsible,
terrible. Is he like some kind of Trump University professor, like law professor from Trump University Law School?
Should be prosecuted to the fullest extent that our laws allow. And indeed, I have followed some of those cases and those prosecutions, and it seems to me that we're doing a pretty good job of identifying and prosecuting those persons who committed those offenses. And I commend the FBI and the District of Columbia Police and the other agencies for their work.
Where's the evidence about the stolen election that your client kept talking about?
Natural to recoil. It's an immediate thing. It comes over you without your ability to stop it. The desire for retribution. Who caused this awful thing? How do we make them pay? We recognize in the law, and I know many.
Yes, there should be accountability. Exactly. Yes, this guy makes sense.
Many of you are lawyers, probably lawyers. Some of you, I've been a lawyer 35 years, longer than me. Many longer than me, probably. And we know we have a specific body of law that deals with passion and rage, blinding logic and reason. That's the difference between manslaughter and murder. Manslaughter is the killing of a human being upon sudden and intense provocation. But murder is done with cold blood and reflective thought. We are so understanding of the concept that people's minds can be overpowered with emotion where logic does not immediately kick in.
What is the legal argument? Are you going to say that the election was stolen and therefore the riot was justified? Or are you saying there was no riot? What's the argument?
That we have recognized examples that otherwise would be hearsay and said that no, when you're driving down the street and you look over at your wife and you say, hey, you know what? That guy's about to drive through the red light and kill that person. Your wife can testify to what you said, because even though it's technically hearsay, is an exception because it's the event living through the person. Why? No opportunity for reflective thought. And there's all sorts of examples that we recognize in the law
this guy doing?
for why people.
This feels like like a terrible college professor that like probably maybe should have retired a long time ago, or like some distant uncle that's just rambling on.
Immediately desire retribution.
Oh.
Immediately recognize in the law that people can be overcome by events.
Spy Hunter saying, no, man, this is part of his strategy. All right, okay, maybe it's part of his strategy.
And you know,
I don't think he knew what he was about to say next. Oh no, this is painful.
senators of the United States, they're not ordinary people.
I feel like Trump hires his attorneys the way he filled his cabinet. He just sort of says, he looks like a lawyer. He has a pinstripe suit.
They're extraordinary people. In the technical sense, extraordinary people.
Oh God, this is too painful. All right. Well, I don't think that this Mr. Castor, I'm quite disappointed. I don't think they're going to present their evidence of the great stolen election, which I thought was the whole point of this problem, this whole case, was that there was this what was that? Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani said they had bombshell evidence, and here you are with the whole country watching, and you get this guy to ramble on. Like, seriously, Donald? Is that the best people? Damn, man. If this is how you hire for your own impeachment defense, how the hell did you hire for your cabinet? Who are those people that you brought? How did you decide like Rick Perry should be like heading up energy, or Betsy DeVos should be heading up education? Like, did you even interview them? All right, now I've got 7 minutes before Mrs. Nerd is going to kick my butt because I promised her I would of course be present for dinner. So one thing I want to do before I wrap is, oh, shoot. See, you see the dilemma I'm in right now. You know I'm enjoying this conversation, fellas and ladies and nerds, all of you. All right, let's just get moving. All right, two things. One is I want to show you a quick update on my other project, which is the ofthepeople.us. So some of the people running for local office. Oh, there's some new profiles. I love it. So basically, ofthepeople.us, it's for anybody running for office. Oh, did I not share? Hold on. Share this button. There we go. All right. So ofthepeople.us, basically, it's for people who are running for local office to be discovered by people like you who want to support them. And you can see here, we just added the ability to add tags, which is super cool. So if you say, hey, I want to find a candidate that's for, let's say, BLM, you'd be like, boom. Oh, and it works. Thank you, Sam and Ian, our engineers. And I can uncheck it. Bam. And I get all of them again. I can check multiple. Like I say, oh, I want to see people who went to Bowdoin College. Boom. That would be moi. I'm not running for office, but I was testing the software. And then you can click on the person, in this case, Allie, and you can see a little bit more about them. Obviously, the embedded YouTube video, there's a bug there, but I'll show you what it should look like because I know it works on mine. And you can embed a little video down there. So still in early development, as you can see, but we're really excited about ofthepeople.us, 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 all volunteer effort. Okay, so next thing I want to do is show you, yeah, here we go, the Smartmatic. And we don't have time to go through the whole thing because Mrs. Nerd, I promised her I would be ready for dinner. But let's just remember here. So basically, they're suing Fox News for darn near $3 billion. And they're basically saying, you guys made up this whole fixed stolen election BS. And now you've destroyed our business, and you've basically ruined, are guilty of libel, I think. Okay, so let's just quickly scan through. I'll look through some highlights. Okay, so who's getting sued? Well, this is like kind of the rogues gallery here. You got Fox News, Lou Dobbs, Maria Bartiromo, and Janine Pirro, and Rudolph Giuliani, and Sidney Powell. So this is the who's who of Stop the Steal. So why? Why are they going to, why are they suing them? Let's see here. Ooh, look at this. Hey, stop putting the freaking computer outside my door, Ryan and Brandon. If you think you're funny, you're going to be charged. Okay, sorry, I had to yell at my son. He's watching this live stream and playing it loud so it echoes in my ear, but he will face the nerdling consequences. Okay, so it starts out with Smartmatic's role as an election technology company. So just so you guys know, their software, you heard like them talk about Smartmatic all the time, was only used in LA County, California. One freaking county, and it consumed all of this, this airtime for the MAGA news. Then they talk about it was just used in LA County, and as you know, like Trump was never going to win Los Angeles County. Then they talk about how Giuliani and Powell created a story about Smartmatic, how Fox defendants joined the conspiracy to defame and disparage Smartmatic and its election software. Let me see if I can make this bigger, by the way. Is that better? Maybe. I don't know. Hold on. I should have prepared for this. Fit to width. Well, whatever. Okay. Defendants engaged in widespread disinformation campaign against Smartmatic and its election technology. They use multiple platforms to spread this disinformation. They presented their statements about Smartmatic as facts and not as opinions. They falsely stated and implied that Smartmatic's election technology and software were widely used in the 2020 election. I think we all saw that. They never said it was just used in LA County. They falsely stated and implied that Dominion used Smartmatic's election technology, which it did not. They falsely stated that Smartmatic fixed, rigged, stole the 2020 election for Biden. Now look, if this is all true and you have evidence, then you're not guilty of defaming a company. But freedom of speech doesn't mean you're able to just lie about another business. Falsely stated and implied that the Smartmatic sent votes to foreign countries for tabulation. I remember hearing about that. Remember that when Sidney Powell from Trump's Dream Team said that the votes were counted like in Cuba? Falsely stated and implied that Smartmatic technology were compromised or hacked. Falsely stated and implied that Smartmatic was banned from providing election technology in the U.S. Falsely stated and implied Smartmatic is a Venezuelan company founded by dictators from communist countries. Falsely stated and implied that Smartmatic's election technology was designed to fix, rig, and steal elections. I remember watching that press conference. This is the one where Rudy Giuliani blew his nose and then wiped his face with his hand and then shook Sidney Powell's hands, which was nasty and disgusting. They had no support for their statements or implications. They did not have sources to prove something that did not happen. They eventually admitted they had no basis for their statements. They knew its anchors and guests lacked basis for their statements. They purposely avoided learning the truth about Smartmatic and its election technology and software. Basically on and on and on and on. So the rub here is that if you believe in Stop the Steal, then this suit will be thrown out and Smartmatic could be countersued by Fox News. How many of you think that's going to happen? Or do you think that, oh, shoot, they're going to have to apologize. They're going to have to make all these statements. They're going to have to fire Lou Dobbs. Well, that's starting to happen already. So if you were bought hook, line, and sinker into this idea that Smartmatic helped rig the elections and the ballots, like they just flipped a switch and they went from Trump to Biden, you got played. Because if that were true, then this suit will be thrown out and you will not see Fox News settle, which they probably will. Ooh, what's this? We got a super chat from Varoom. Maybe next stream you can cover Mike Lindell's crayon charts as revealed in his documentary last Friday. Mike Lindell is definitely not a nerd. So I would love to see his definition of evidence. Yes, this was the interview where Rudy was dripping the dark brown liquid on the side of his face. But more disgusting was when he was blowing his nose and then he folded the handkerchief outside. So the boogers came on the outside and then he wiped his face with it. And then he shook Sidney Powell's hand after she gave her statements during a pandemic. So Rudy's quite a piece of work. All right, so if you enjoyed this stream, please do me a solid. Like, share, subscribe. If you really like our stuff, please consider becoming a member, like all those fantastic people that that we called out already, including our newest member. So really appreciate everybody pitching in. We'll be growing the channel. We're going to try and hit, we're at 18,000 subs. We're going to try and hit 25,000 this year. I don't know if we'll be able to do it, but with your help, we're going to invest in more content, more technology, and promoting the channel. With that, I'm going to say goodbye, nerds. Sorry, Mrs. Nerd. I know I'm late. I'm coming. Wendy, I'm coming. I'm ending it now. Peace out. Bye, nerds.